Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're all doing well, and welcome to this community showdown. It's going to be Charix leading Norsca, facing off against the Vampire Counts and Krelll here on Borderlow Landing, and this is one of our World Championship games. It should be quite a good battle. We have Throg versus Kemler. So let's go ahead and break down the builds. For the Norskins, it looks like the Marauder Champions are being brought. Now, the reason why you bring these guys against Vampire Counts is because they don't really care about Scab Scrape. Scab Scrape has been used to an insanely good effect against Norsca for ages. Basically, you bring two White Kings with Scab Scrape, and you use the Scab Scrape to annihilate their Marauders and their Marauder Berserkers, and it's just really brutal. But the Marauder Champions with 80 armor, and of course higher HP, are going to be very, very solid at enduring that and just pounding through vampiric front lines. If you can avoid Crypt Horrors with them, they're going to shine. So we do have Marauder Champions backed up by Throg and a Deathcaster with Spirit Leech and Aspect of the Dread Knight. The idea with Aspect of the Dread Knight is to give your unit obviously more staying power with its leadership, but more importantly imbue magic damage for a very cheap amount of Winds of Magic, which can allow you to deal with ghostly units. So Marauder Champions, Javelins, Throg is the anchor with which to fight the big monsters, and a couple horsemen as well. Now for Ulrich, very, very meta stuff here. Going to be coming in the bushes with the Smeagol's, and this is something you'll see most Vampire Count players do on these type of maps, like Edge of the Darkwood, any map where your opponent has like a safe back objective that you can kind of sneak up on with a Vanguard point. Smeagol's, they get up there, and they can honestly hold their own against like Marauders and things like that. They will lose to Champions, but yeah, really, really annoying back pressure. It's going to be forcing Charix likely to keep something back there. For the rest of Ulrich's build, he is going to be wielding a battle line of Graveguard. It almost seems like these guys, yeah, the Graveguard are going to be obviously trading pretty evenly with the Marauder Champions. They do have a little bit more HP, and they also have the bonus versus infantry, but the Graveguard with Corpse Cart support should beat a Marauder Champion, although, I don't know, I'd actually have to test that, but I suppose the Graveguard would probably win. Zombies, Corpse Carts, and elsewhere here is going to be double Crypt Horror and Kemler as well, with the Winds of Death. Yeah, it does really seem like Krell's build is incredibly well prepared to deal with Charix's build. I mean, they are in the same clan, so maybe they kind of share a pool of similar builds, because, like, I don't know, do vampires really come in with the mass great opens usually against Norsca? This is very much something like, I know you're going to go mass Marauder Champions, and I'm going to bring something to counter it, but yeah, we have to see. Kemler are going to be eating some javelins there, and yeah, the battle is soon to be on. We'll do a little bit of fast forwarding while the Norskins get two objectives. Vampire Count's going to be chilling on just one and actually losing that back objective. Charix able to get some really, really nice harass play back here with the Norscan Ice Wolves and the Javelins and Throg as well. Obviously, there's not much here that can contest Throg in open field. You could be tar pitted and surrounded, but yeah, Charix going to be getting that triple cap against the Vampires and maybe going for a stuffing strategy. Are we going to be seeing him try that? Oh, I love this by Ulrich, though. See, even I forgot about it, and that's the strength of it. The Smeagol's popping out of the bushes, and they shall be grabbing this back objective, and that's going to be very annoying for Charix. You know, I felt like Charix's game plan was very much like to triple cap the Vampire Count, stuff them back, be very annoying in that way, but now that game plan not going to be quite as effective. Now, Spirit Leech is going down in Kemler. It looks like there has been a couple from the Shaman Sorcerer. On the outside, the Riders of the Mighty Serpent, as well as the Marauder Horse Master, is going to be throwing Javelin into the Crypt Horrors here, while old Throg Daddy now going to be heading back. And it looks like Ulrich isn't really even going to be playing his back objective. He's going to be playing his opponent's home objective, and then also going to be playing the middle here. Now, is his champion going to be heading back here? I think your best bet probably to send some mobility over there. Yeah, like some Norscan Ice Wolves is a good call to go try and deal with those guys. Now, Champion's going to be piling in the front. Champions do get wrecked really badly by Crypt Horrors, but if these Javelin guys are allowed to throw, they'll do some huge damage and absolutely hard counter those Crypt Horrors, and it looks like they are right now. Breath Attack from the Chimera tries its best, does swing and miss, and those Crypt Horrors getting obliterated. Javelins are one of the best like Monstrous infantry killers in the game, and it makes sense. Norsca is like the Monster Hunter faction, right? So that is going to be their forte. With the Bloodstreak Chimera going after Kemler, and it looks like a second Frost Doggy is going to be heading back here. Smeagol's retreating back into the woods. I believe Norscan Ice Wolves would win that fight, but again, something I would need to test, just kind of my initial perception there. One unit of Crypt Horrors going in the trash can, really good. Marauder Champions being absolute Giga Chads despite getting hammered. It looks like they're trading very well into these spooky undead boys. Their Spirit Leech activated on Kemler, while the Bloodstreak Chimera probably going to be retreating back and looking to get another Breath Attack. Now on this side, the Marauder Champions in a tricky situation, fighting a Chaff unit, a Great Open unit, as well as a Crypt Horror, but once again, the throwing Javelins of Norsca equalizing the fight. Throg is also here as well, and he's going to be getting his Boinking Stick out, and is going to be laying in elbow. What the hell was that? He just like tripped over his shoelace and fell on those Crypt Horrors. I've never seen something so haggard. Oh my god, what the hell was that? Well, nonetheless, he did that, And that was pretty embarrassing. I was just talking him up. I'm like, oh, he's going to go show this thing who's boss. And then homie just like falls straight on his foot. Now, we do see some ghostly cav coming in, the chill guys. But we do have the aspect of the Dread Knight. So that is on the table. And I wonder if Charx is going to be using it right now. Charging in here with the Marauder Champions to run interference. And we do see aspects of the Dread Knight activated. So if these chill guys stay in combat, they're going to get annihilated by these Marauder Champions. And ooh, the Frostbite Wolves is really good, because then they're not going to be able to escape the great weapons as easily. And they are taking huge casualties. Really, really clean play there by Charx. I love that. Now, he runs away with the Frost Doggies, but we do see the Smeagol's waiting in the trees to try and grab that point once again. The Frost Dogs are also pretty good against Cryptors. They have 48 weapon strength. Cryptors are very lightly armored, so if you get 2 Norsca and Ice Wolves to jump on top of a Cryptor unit, they can do pretty good work for you. It ain't bad at all. All right, battle line is up. Marauder Champions are going to be fighting it out here, while the Chimera in the back, the classic Vampire Count thing, just getting surrounded by, name a more iconic duo. Playing Vampire Counts and getting your monsters surrounded. It is just so annoying. Cryptors, they poison you, they have incredibly good mass. They can really hold characters down like that, and it is, or characters or monsters, whatever. It's very annoying to deal with. All right, so the Smeagol's popping out again. I really like this by Ulrich. It's super troll, and he's going to be sending Dire Pack back there as well as some Dire Wolves. So he might not even need to retreat this time, although if the Skin Wolves come back here, it could change the paradigm of that situation. Anti-large Condom Wolves taking on top of the Cryptors. Cryptors are going to get countered by Skin Wolves pretty hard. The healing of the Skin Wolves will mitigate most of the Cryptor damage, and the anti-large bonus obviously is really, really big, as these werewolves are going to be able to tear through these vampiric monsters, and from there go to help get that back objective back. Right now, Vampire Counts do have the double cap. Charx grinding pretty well in some of the infantry fights, but the Vampires, those Graveguard Great Weapons, yeah, doing really, really nice work. So Throg fighting with Frost Doggies, Marauder Champions really holding incredibly well. Oftentimes against Vampiric front lines, most infantry will fold and get pushed back pretty quickly by the combination of Corpse Guard zombies and, supporting magic. But in this case, the Marauder Champions are giving some pretty good staying power here. Now, we do see Famir being called in. No, Norsca and Ice Trolls. Ice Trolls are a good choice. They are a bit of a counter against armored infantry and are a good generalist. They're good against cav, good against monsters, and the Trolls are going to be getting in, and many of these Smeagol's are going to be getting sent back into the fires of Mount Doom. So you can see them getting boinked pretty hard by those great weapons. The Skin Wolves ripping and tearing versus the Cryptors, while the Norsca and Ice Wolves supporting, and it does look like this is going to be a decisive victory back here for the Norskins, as I think Vampires are going to be losing a ton of units, like Dire Pack, Double Crypt Ghouls, easily losing about 2,000 gold worth of units. But the question is Charx going to be able to get this side back here? Throg shambling after Heinrich. Heinrich is kind of low, and remember, Throg does have Frostbite. Oh, Chad Krelll. If Vampire Counts weren't already so strong, I would be like, oh, they should just make Krelll a permanent summon, because it's kind of, like, I feel like maybe, you know what, maybe if you pick Heinrich Kemler as your lord, it unlocks Krelll in the multiplayer selection menu, and you can bring him instead of a regular White King. You see, that would be really cool. I mean, obviously, multiplayer isn't the priority of Creative Assembly, but there's so many little cool interactions you could have like that. Like, if you pick a certain legendary lord, he unlocks unique units for multiplayer. Like, imagine if you picked Karl Franz, for example, and you could get a special Greatsword unit or a special Reichsguard unit. Like, there's so much cool flex you could do in this game. It's insane if you really think about it. Maybe, like, someday down the road, when obviously Creative Assembly stops supporting Total War Warhammer, we could maybe do some cool multiplayer shenanigans where we like mod the game in such a way and just add like army abilities. Like, every faction gets army abilities, because if you put that in the hands of the community, like, look what happens with Beyond All Reason. You put passionate people in charge of games, and the job gets done. It's great. All right, folks, on the other side here, we do see the Norsca and Ice Wolves ripping and tearing, and like I anticipated, the back objective was dominated by Norsca. But now the middle objective is going to be the big field of combat. And we do see the Norskins kind of getting tar-pitted right here. A little bit of a Game of Thrones White Walker surround. Yes, don't remind me of the Haggard defense of the North there. God, that was so Haggard, that battle. But Marauder Champions, shaken. Certainly not something that they normally experience. The Bloodshriek Chimera does have the ability to heal, and it does look like Charx is going to be going for a cheeky snipe, trying to get Heinrich Kemler here, because if you can get a pick on him, that is certainly going to lead to crumbling of many, many undead units. Like, a lot of these undead are just very low leadership right now. Charx coming in with the Marauder Berserkers, and since he knows his opponent doesn't have Scab Scraith, Marauder Champions are pretty god tier, or Berserkers against Vampire Counts, as long as they're not dealing with Scab Scraith. And in this case, they are going to be able to chew. Chimera gets up in the sky, gets a breath attack right there. A nice one, able to roast those Cryptors. The fire damage certainly nice there as well. While the Condom Wolves probably should have came over here. No, it looks like getting a rear charge into these Cryptors is going to work out well. Trolls arriving. Heinrich Kemler getting rear charged by the Chimera, and very, very nice. He's currently sitting at about 1600 HP. I believe the Spirit Leech caster did get taken out of action, so I don't think that's going to be on the table right now, but perpetually going after Heinrich, really keeping Ulrich on his toes, certainly is not a bad idea at all. Now, of course, Norsca is ahead on value, but vampires have a ton of healing, so probably I would say these two players are pretty damn even on value right now. It's got to be a close game. Wintertooth Crown not saving the Shaman Sorcerer. He's still broken and running. And Throg Daddy getting that Frostbite on him. 55 speed right now, man. He's at 1300 HP. Karen Race coming in. Nice tech. Karen Race will be very good against Marauder champions and even against like the Berserker type units. Since the Mage is gone, there's no more aspect of the Dread Knight, so the Ghostly units are going to be really, really running rampant. Charik's going for a Ninja on his opponent's back objective, though, which is smart because I think he's run into a bit of a vampire brick wall in the middle that he's going to be having a mass amount of trouble dealing with. He might need to relegate more to that classic boss toss style where you have that huge mobility core of like hounds and throwing javelins, horseback, horsemen, and rotating between the two objectives. I can't tell you how many games I had lost against boss toss that I had thought I had won, even though being ahead on value and whatnot, because Norsca's rotation is so strong. Between having Skin Wolves, Marauder Horsemen, Frost Wolves, Beast of Tachnar, like they can just bounce between objectives and just absolutely slaughter like really, really effectively on those. So here they do get here. The Marauder Berserkers are able to defeat the zombies, and now we do see the dogs coming in. Dire Wolves. Are the Horse Masters going to be taking the charge there? I don't think they need to. I think they just hide on top of the Berserkers, and they are going to be A-okay. Back on the middle objective, the Berserkers are doing all right, but the Vampiric Forces and the Ghosts and the Remnants of the Graveguard Grey Opens doing very well. And I wonder if Ulrich is going to be making a play for that back point, because right now Norsca is feasting pretty well on these objectives here. The Berserkers getting on top of the Dire Wolves should be able to kill them. And honestly, this Marauder Horsemaster and this Marauder Berserker might be able to hold this objective for a while. Although I would imagine Charix will find a way to try and reinforce this. Like a Norscan dog back here. A Norscan Frostwolf would be so freaking good. All right, Dire Wolves getting chewed up. Back over here towards Objective 2. We do see the Javelins throwing away. The Riders of the Mighty Serpent are mighty indeed, circling about and looking to get on those Cryptors. Ulrich Krelll playing World of Warcraft Arena. He's playing a Resto Druid, remember? And they used to just spam Life Bloom and run around pillars. High-octane gameplay for sure. That was one of the things. So I actually went back not long ago and tried to watch some competitive World of Warcraft Arena, and just like the pillar humping, just totally, I couldn't even watch it. I was like, this is so annoying to watch. I mean, it was annoying to play against, but it's also annoying to watch too. All right, guys, so Ulrich Krelll is up on points right now, though, and it does look like he's going to get his back point back. We do see the Vampire Lord, Heinrich Kemler, here, going to be rolling up, while the Frost Doggies are on their way in. Throg Daddy trying to grind it out. He's been doing good this game. Throg only 800 value, but he's still fighting. He's still healthy. He's still like a menace that could affect the outcome of the game. Tattered Skin Wolves in here charging. Charix is going to be running out of time here very rapidly to get these points back, but really nice usage of the Javelins here. Those Javelins, man, they are going to be throwing those Olympic gold medal arms, melting those Cryptors down. This other Cryptor is going to be getting melted, and the capture weight, though, is still very much in the hands of the Vampire Counts. Now the Marauder Champion is going to be coming out, while the mobility core of Horsemen and Dire Wolves chases here. Norscan Ice Wolves going to be detaching, heading over this direction, and these Chadley Marauder Berserkers still going at it, man. Fully enraged, by the way, so Fizzres, melee attack, and yeah, obviously the Fizzres won't help against ghost units, but it's really allowing them. Are they actually going to win this fight here? That would be pretty insane. I don't think so. I think the Crypticals will get them. Vampire's getting worn down in the middle a little bit. Marauder Champion is going to be bringing some much-needed weight here. Really nice zombie summon by Ulrich Krelll right there. Able to drop it like it's hot on the Marauder Hunter Javelins, while Throg is going to be elboinking these bad boys down. Riders of the Mighty Serpent going to be fleeing away. Still worth keeping, though. They, of course, very, very strong fighters. And, yeah, I guess they do magic damage. Something I didn't really think about. But that's incredibly useful against these Wraith units. They can really, really push those guys down. Time is running out, though. Charix is on the back foot. Norscan Dogs, where are they going to be going? Riders of the Mighty Serpent circling. And it looks like they're going to be trying to get a pick maybe on Heinrich Kemler. And on the backside, some Condom Wolves do come back, so the Skin Wolves should move back up, and we do see Norscan Ice Wolf spam. Ooh, this could be trouble for Heinrich Kemler, and picking him off right now could be a game-winning play. All right, Heinrich Kemler gets surrounded by the dogs. He ran right into the old trap, and Charix is going to be getting his big hammer of Throg, and Throg is going to be finishing off Heinrich Kemler, which is going to be negative 16 to the Vampire Count army. Oh, huge mistake. Don't unsummon the Riders of the Mighty Serpent. Don't do that. No. That is a huge mistake by Charix. It might not seem like it, but that's 4 capture weight is now gone. And sure, he gets a partial refund. Maybe going to be able to call in some Hound units, but they're actually a good fighter unit. But I guess he's going to be calling in Berserkers. I think that was a big mistake. Like, huge mistake. I mean, the capture weight might even have started to flip for him if he had kept that unit. But, yeah, in this case, obviously the Cairn race are pretty numerous, and we do see more criticals coming in. Ulrich Krelll likely going to win this based on just objective stuffing here. Even though if the game was like maybe an extra, went to 1,700 points instead of 1,500, we probably would see a victory for Charix, but hard to say. So Norscan Ice Wolves collapsing in from all directions. Skin Wolves and Marauder Champions with Great Opens are going to be dropping the hammer. On the backside, Marauder Champions and Marauder Berserkers coming in, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. I mean, he's going to have to triple cap his opponent here. And he does have some Norscan Frost Wolves, which can trade okay into the Smeagol's. We'll see what kind of fighting they actually get there. They're going to need their charge bonus. Champions are doing well, but the Cairn rates are just doing so much work against them. 300 kills, about 1,400 value. I believe that was their second summon, though, so not the most accurate situation. Berserkers going to be on their way in. And that's the thing, right? Like, if he had kept the Riders of the Mighty Serpent, he might have been able to use them with these Norscan Ice Wolves to defeat these Crypticals and start to steal that back objective. I mean, maybe not. I mean, Ulrich would have reacted. He would have sent his Dire Pack over there and stopped it, but I think it would have given him a little bit more agency there. So now we are going to be approaching 1,400 points for Ulrich Krelll, and I think that Count Chocula is going to have this game in the bag. But what an interesting game this was, guys. Seeing the... Yeah, there's no way for a comeback, right? I don't think so. No, looking pretty over here. Norscans do arrive. They start to get the capture weight there. They still don't have the capture weight in the middle. The outside, the Riders of the Mighty Serpent were resummoned, but not going to be enough. Yeah, great game by both players, man. I mean, the champion build was super cool. I think it would have caught a lot of Vampire Count players off guard because many Vampire Count players I've casted have gone double Scab, Scraith, and Chaff. And these champions would have just owned that style of play. But Ulrich seemed to really kind of know what his opponent was going to bring. Like, his whole build was designed to counter Marauder Champions, it looks like so much armor piercing. But even still, Charix made it a very close game, and I think that game was at multiple points a possibility to be won by either player. It wasn't something like the whole game, it was just one-sided. It was close. I think little decision-making plays here and there could have changed it, but yeah, great game. GG, well played. Let's take a look at the value. Throg's hitting at about 1,400. Champions, not bad. They held their own 1,800 on a couple of those. Marauder Horsemen, super good in this matchup. And the Chimera, 1,700 there. Not bad at all. Yeah, Ghosts very, very strong. And yeah, Charix also seemed to know about the Ghosts. And the Marauder Champions into the Graveguard, it's also not bad, right? Both players, pretty good builds against one another. All right, guys, take care of yourselves. Thank you for joining. And that is going to be it for tonight. Cheers.